So look at the mess here outside of the Gallagate. This is turnstile 57 to 56, and you can just see access rain dropping from up there. Rest in peace to the great man, Sir Bobby Robson. You live on. One of the best managers I've ever seen at Newcastle United Football Club. There's just some M's when you walk around this ground and you think how fortunate we are to have a big stadium like we have, 52,000 capacity stadium, with the facilities. Obviously, if only the owner could do a lot more in terms of investment inside the ground to make the experience a lot better for everybody, would be such a good thing going forward. And I kind of get enough of this stadium. I'm proud to support Newcastle United Football Club. It means so much to us. Walking past the stadium, if not every day, seeing some of the scenery, use up witnessing. If only, we could have the days of European football, such as Thursday night football in the Europa League. This stadium is fit for it. This should not be a stadium which should be be battling to stay in the Premier League, finishing mid-table. But that's the reality of where we are in terms of the football club and the lack of investment in the football club. But it just makes us massively proud, to look at this wonderful stadium that we call home. Every match day when we turn up at St James's Park, and to what could happen to this ground, you know, if it all goes right, is another thing. But anyway, let's walk on. So this is just a view of St James's Park from the car park. This is probably one of the better views if you want to do a video, or if you just want to take a picture of the stadium. It's absolutely beautiful. It's any vlogger's dream, you know, if you want to do a match preview, if you want to do a collab, if you just want to do a documentary on St James's Park in terms of starting a video, it's brilliant. I mean, I always come here for my previews. I try and mix it up a little bit by going around the ground, but it's just amazing, you know, this stadium behind me, how big it is, and what could potentially, you know, be done to this ground with a bit more investment. Unbelievable. I'm proud to support this football club. Shearer! So you would have just seen the Alan Shearer statue outside St James's Park. It's just a shame to say that we're not going to have another Alan Shearer at this football club while Mike Ashley's still here. Until Mike Ashley sells the club or shows any ambition, we're never going to have a legend like Alan Shearer, who would put on that black and white shirt and would score over 15 plus goals a season, that would fire this great club, you know, into European football, challenging for FA Cups, League Cups, you name it. Don't get us wrong, I still believe that Rafa Benitez is the man to be given that opportunity to make another Alan Shearer. But while Mike Ashley's still at the helm, that is nigh on impossible. And obviously Rafa Benitez is feeling the pressure at the moment because of the lack of investment. Like I say, I love this football club. You know, I love everything around it. You know, I love just looking around the ground and just seeing what we've got and what could potentially happen to this ground. Like I've said before in this video, with a bit of investment, as you can currently see, I'm walking along the Gallowgate of St James's Park, and it's just nice to reflect and just have a walk around and just to look at the bigger picture at what's happening to this great football club. The club that I love, the club that you love, and what Mike Ashley's doing to it. You know, the mess, you know, this football club, I mean, you've already got to look at this. So look at the mess here outside of the Gallowgate. This is turnstile 57 to 56, and you can just see access rain dropping from up there. This is the mess of this football club. This is the lack of investment in this football club, not just on players but on the stadium itself. This stadium needs looking after, and Mike Ashley isn't doing that, and I do apologise about any wind. I want to keep this video as real as possible. Just look at the drops of water. It's not just that, it stretches, you know, to about there, and you can just see all the damp, you know, around the ground. And this is to our great football club, owner doesn't invest, if he doesn't get people to, monitor the ground every now and again, to check around the ground to see what needs repairing, because like a lot of things, it happens too late. And when they do look at things, whether it be on the pitch or off the pitch, the damage has already been done, unfortunately. This stadium, was clean, was presentable to all fans, around the world. You could welcome fans without feeling, embarrassed. But you walk to the ground now these days and you think, what a disgrace, what an absolute disgrace to one of the best stadiums in the country, if not one of the best stadiums in the world. And that's been said by a lot of fans that have been here in the past. And like I say, nothing will change under this owner. Like I say, I want to keep these videos as real as possible, just walking around, the ground that I love. And people might think, oh, well, you're just a Newcastle fan, you aren't going to win anything anytime soon, you're just this, you're just that. But at the end of the day, I want to keep things real, because at the end of the day, this is my football club. I love it, and I don't want to see the ground, be ripped apart by an owner who doesn't care. And it's just a real shame, what he's doing to this football club. Well, what more can I say, really? So I'm outside of the Leazes End, which is probably one of the biggest stands in St James's Park. As you can see, it stretches way up there. So if you're scared of heights, I would turn it off. But, I just look at the mess over here. I mean, look at the green mould. Look at that on the east stand. I mean, this just goes to show the lack of investment, in the ground. This ground needs looking after, and the evidence is there. You can see what's going on. I like it when it's quiet, because it allows you to hear what I'm saying, and you can see what's going on. I mean, like, what's all this behind here? Like, what is all that? Like, why can't we do something with this? Why can't we build a family area for fans to come and enjoy themselves, before a game? There is no pre-match atmosphere anymore. You know what I mean? We could be doing something with this ground. We could do so much with it. If the right money comes in. It's just a real shame, of what's happened to this great stadium. I mean, like I say, if you're not a Newcastle fan, you might not sympathise, but this could be your football club that this could be happening to. So, like I say, that's reality of what can happen, if your owner doesn't invest. This is the mess that you're in. This is the mess that you've got to clean up. He's not going to do anything anytime soon, of course. This is outside the Leazes End, which is again level 7. I mean, I've sat here numerous times. It is quite high up. A lot of fans do complain that it's too high, but I suppose for safety regulations, that's what the club's got to do. But they've got to make the stadium, better for everybody, not just for the Newcastle fans, but for the away supporters as well. They've got to give them an experience, to remember. Probably the one good thing about the matchday experience, which I'll give, the Newcastle hierarchy credit for, is the pitch. That's it. The pitch and the Gallagher flags. That's it. There's nothing else good about a matchday experience here. Because if you look inside the ground, and some of the pictures I've seen, it's disgusting. So like I say, it's nice just to have a little walk, around this ground to sort of look at the realities. And I'm going to walk inside now, the Leazes, which is obviously the car park. It might get a little bit dark, so I do apologise about that, but it's just a real shame, man, because if you look at other grounds, that are smaller than this, they're getting looked after. The matchday experience is good. Look at this place. A lot of people are giving it negative reviews, which you can totally understand. I mean, you've only got to look at the rivals down the road, Sunderland. I mean, we're taking the mick out with them, how we're calling red seats and things like that. They're in League One, but they're still investing, in the stadium. You can see they're changing the seats up. Yes, whether they're filling, that's another thing. And I'm not trying to have a dig at them, but, they are investing in the ground. For when they probably do get back up to the Premier League, yes, they probably are a Premier League football club / Championship. It'd be great to have the rivalry back one day, but, if you have rivals down the road with next to no money, are showing ambition, in their ground. Why can't we? There's no excuse. We're in the best league in the world, full of money, and to not even care about the football club and the stadium. I mean, fair enough, okay, we know that you don't invest in players, but for you not to invest in the ground, it's just shocking. And eventually the Premier League will kick on, and they will, force changes. They will click. The FA will click, but like I said, the FA are quite slow these days at responding to a lot of things when it comes to stadiums. But like I say, I'll continue. So I'm just walking outside St James's Park, and I've had a good little look around the ground, and again, there's a lot of work to be done, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. I haven't shown you inside of the ground, of course, because it would obviously cost for a stadium tour, and then I'd have to show you some of the parts, when they're not looking. But just behind me there, Sir Bobby Robson, to end things off. It says, we are united. Now, I question that at times. I mean, are we united? In some aspects, yes. In many aspects, no. Because if we're united as a football club, then surely the owner would be backing the manager, and then the manager would be, setting up a good team to play against every club in the Premier League, to go out and win, to challenge for the last Europa League spot, at the very least, with the ambition that we show. And it's a shame because we're not, united anymore. We used to be, not anymore. That's the stark reality. That's where we are, as a club. It's all about, these days, what Mike Ashley can get out of it. It's all about sort of staying in the Premier League and avoiding relegation. And for a club of our size, that should not be the case. I must have said that on about 300 or 400 videos that I've done on this channel. It's all about what Mike Ashley wants, not what we want. In football these days, it's all got a bit PC. You can't even sort of celebrate these days about getting kicked out of ground. You can't even, go to a game and enjoy it anymore, because players are scared, to pull in out tackles, are scared to do this, are scared to do that, and it's all about what they're going to get each week in terms of the paycheck. And footballers these days have a reason to leave because they want more money, and they're not happy to play for the shirt anymore. And I've mentioned the great Alan Shearer. There was no better feeling to put on the black and white shirt, to perform in front of 52,000 fans. But these days, players don't say it like that. Owners, they want more money for players as well. Sometimes it doesn't go about the players leaving. Sometimes the owner wants more money from another club if they're going to put more in. Just think of the likes of Andy Carroll, who's left, players like that, and we've lost some really good players because the owner, doesn't care about us. All he cares about himself, and it's a shame. And at the end of the day, I'm just speaking from the heart, and for what I've had to witness the last 11 years, obviously nothing's going to change. Fans don't want to do boycotts. They've done it in the past. They want to do one against Wolves, of course. If that's what they want to do, they can do it, but it's not going to change anything. He's still going to be here. He's been here 11 years, so obviously the quicker he goes, the better. I mean, I say a lot of work needs to be done on the ground. There's no question about that. I mean, if we can't buy players, we've got to be doing something with this ground, because it's just a shame the way it's looking at the moment. And a lot's got to change at this football club. Big changes have got to be made. And like I say, as a Newcastle fan, we will get our day. How about the lads?